Hey guys, how's things? Did you miss me? All right, we're coming down the home stretch, and I've got all the journals are all bound and ready to kind of move on. But I told you that I would show you my super easy binding method um, with four signatures. I don't know. I guess this is sort of like I don't do it the way a lot of people do. I sort of have taken some shortcuts, and it just works for me. So, you know, lots of people are very meticulous about the way they do this. They make templates and all that kind of stuff. I don't do that. So basically, I just take all my signatures. I've got everything. One thing I did want to do is move this envelope up higher. Hold on. I want to move this envelope up higher in the signature. There we go. Okay. So take all your signatures that are all ready to go and just kind of lay them down. I've got the book opened like this. Just kind of lay them down right along the edge of the spine where, you know, I've kind of got even spacing on top and bottom. I eyeball everything. I don't, and you guys some of you might have seen me do this before. I've shown it on a couple other videos, but anyway, so tools you'll need: a needle, like a tapestry needle, some wax cotton or wax linen thread, a pencil, an awl or something to poke holes, some scissors, and sometimes a pair of pliers, okay, and a Sharpie or some kind of pen that'll make a dark mark, okay. Sometimes I use pencil, but a lot of times it doesn't show up on certain papers, but a Sharpie does. So basically what I do is I just kind of eyeball where the center is. And this is for a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. A lot of times I just do 2 holes, but I want this to be a 3-hole because it's just more stable. Okay, so I'll make a little dot on each signature in a row, just like, see what I'm saying? See the little dots? Okay, so get those lined back up. And then I'm going to eyeball about, I don't know, about 1.5 inches up from the bottom and make another row of dots. And then I try to make that, the top row of dots, about the same. Okay, so keep those, leave those there, don't move them. And then I'm going to take a pencil and just lightly draw, kind of scratch in a line on the spine where I'm going to punch my holes. Okay, so I've made a little line. Now I'm going to take this stack and I'm going to turn it upside down. Okay, set those off to the side, and then as I grab them to bind in, I'm going to start at the back of the journal and work my way forward. So you want your first signature to be at the bottom of your pile. Okay, so now I'm doing 4 signatures. So I need to mark this off 4 even spaces, right? So what I do is I kind of figure out where I want my first signature to hit, and it's probably about 1/8 of an inch from the cover. And then I go about 1/8 of an inch from the back cover, make a dot, and I'll do that all the way down. Make those dots. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball where the other 2 signatures are going to be, trying to make sure that I've got even spacing. So I want kind of like 3 equal spaces in between those 4 dots. It's just the way I do it. And honestly, I think it turns out pretty nice. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you're doing a bunch of different size books and stuff, like, and then you have all these templates that are hanging around that you got to go find. And, you know, like I used to do templates and then I would accidentally like do it upside down or something. And so I just started doing it this way and it works really well for me. Anyway, oh, and then you need some foam. This is just like 3 layers of the thicker fun foam that I hot glued together. I've been using this for a long time. Anyway, so then I'm just going to poke my holes. And you honestly won't even see that. I mean, you won't even notice that pencil mark. I mean, you can see it, like if you pull the signatures open in between 2 signatures, you'll see that little pencil line, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So anyway, so then I'll thread my needle with enough of the thread for 1 signature. I don't try to thread all of it for the whole book. I just do 1 signature at a time. Okay, set that aside. Grab the top signature that's on the stack, and then I don't paper clip these together or anything like that. I just I just hold them together. And then I'll turn this over carefully, trying not to shift any of the pages. And then I'll poke my top hole, my bottom hole, and my center hole. And then I leave the awl in there when I pick this up. And that keeps everything kind of like aligned. And then I'll insert my needle. Sometimes you have to go back and use the awl because the pages shift ever so slightly, but it's really, you know, not a huge deal. It's like a teeny amount. Okay, so I've got my needle in there, and then I'm going to go into the bottom hole, starting at the back of the book. I do try to make sure I'm holding all of the pages. Okay, pull that through so I've got enough of a tail to work with when I go to tie the knot. And then I go in the top hole. Every time I go to show this to you guys on camera, it gets screwed up. I don't know why, but that's just what happens every single time. Okay, in there. I swear this never happens. It just never happens. It always works out way better than this. Hold on. Hold the phone. Okay, so I'm going to have to go 1 page at a time. So I'm going to find my hole, just hold the needle in place, and then you just start flipping the pages and making sure that the needle comes through your hole. Oh my God, this is the worst binding tutorial ever. All right. And then when you see, this is why I sometimes don't like having something small in the center of my signature, because things can just get all screwed up. Okay, so I'm trying not to shift things too much. I use the awl. Usually I'll just poke through again just to kind of realign everything before I go through that bottom hole. And then I'm going through the last hole in the cover. And you guys have seen this. Lots of people do this. And then through that center. I try not to pull my string too tight because I know I need to get back through this. I need to get back through this hole in the middle. This is why I don't like doing the pamphlet stitch that much, because it's just, I don't know, it's kind of time consuming. Anyway, and I do 5-stitch every once in a while, but not too often. So this one is completely throwing me off my game. Maybe I need to just pretend like I'm not filming. Okay, so sometimes you'll split the string with the needle, but usually you can pull it up through. Like if you take both of these ends and just pull straight up, you'll see how it, and this happens all the time. See how I actually put the needle through the string. So I just use my awl and just pull those apart. And then I want to make sure that I have one tail on each side of that center string. Okay. Hopefully the next 3 will go smooth. Anyway, and I know sometimes people will probably say, well, why don't you just paper clip them together? It's just, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like more hassle to like clip everything together for some reason. Okay, so now I just thread the needle for the next signature, grab the next one, let it open to the center, lay it down, poke the top, poke the bottom, poke the center. Oops. Yeah, this is not going smoothly. Through the middle, holding on to my pages, and I just really try not to let them shift. It does happen, they shift around a little bit, but this is another reason why I prefer to use fewer pages in my signatures, because it just makes it easier to keep everything held together with your hand. So if you have little teeny tiny hands, then it might be better for you to clip everything together. But when you're binding 14 journals or 20 journals or whatever, you just want to take as many shortcuts as possible, I guess. Okay, so this is the center hole. Going back through this center hole is always the hardest, because you can lose your needle. You lose where your needle is, and sometimes you have to back out a little bit and kind of realign everything. There we go. Okay, take the needle off, and then I pull this straight up just to make sure that there's no gaps, and I haven't stitched through my string. Okay, use my awl, pull one to the side, this is one reason I do like doing this stitch, because it's easier to knot it in the center, especially with the wax linen, because it grabs really quick. It grabs on, so you don't have to like hold the center of your knot, Anyway, I just find this very relaxing, and I love when I have a project like this where I have a ton of like kind of tedious work to do. It's kind of like a Zen thing, I guess. And then when I get it all done, it's just rewarding, you know. That's what it is. I think it's just rewarding. So sometimes you just have to take the awl and sort of, I don't know, poke through the other side, because when you're working with all these weird papers, some of them are bulky, and the paper pulp has a tendency, when you poke through one direction and then you're trying to insert your needle from the other direction, all the paper pulp is kind of like bunched up there. And if you can just stick the awl back through the hole one time, it sort of straightens everything out again. See, this is how it usually goes. Usually a little bit smoother. I think I just need to slow down is what it is. I'm just trying to go too quick. And I just have the pliers because every once in a while, you know, it just gets difficult to pull the needle through. And also sometimes my fingers get sore. So I need to make sure I didn't split my string with the needle. And I'm leaving the strings long. I don't know. I guess I normally do. Sometimes I don't. Like if I have a if I'm binding an envelope into the center of a signature, then I usually cut them short because I don't want that big string inside of an envelope. Anyway, so this is my little kind of cheater way of binding. Works for me. Works for me. Just, you know, doesn't have to be perfect, right? I mean, I suppose if you're only working on, you know, if you're only doing one journal, then doing a template for it, using the template, or if you normally do the same size journal, then template's probably not a hard thing to keep track of. Anyway, I'm going to poke through here again one time. Oh, so I watched The Wilds on, see it's stuck, so gotta use my pliers. If you guys haven't watched it, and thank you guys so much for all the movie recommendations. A lot of the stuff that you suggested are things that I've already watched. Some are not, and I have watched a couple of the movies that you guys suggested, so thank you for that. It's just hard to find stuff sometimes. Anyway, but watch The Wilds on Amazon Prime. It's super good. If you like the show Lost, or if you like Survivor or shows like that, check it out. It's pretty good. Anyway, so that's it. That's the last one. And I think that, you know, this looks pretty straight, and I don't know, I guess after years of binding, eyeballing it, I've just gotten better at it, but I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so So that's my little kind of funky tutorial on binding with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I think I'm going to actually do my my closures on these. So we can do that together. Let me put this little kit away. The How and Why books turned out pretty cool. I like the way this turned out. So for these, I did wind up doing 3 signatures, but I just did, so each signature has two places where I knotted the string, see? So I just went through 2 holes here and 2 holes here, and I knotted each one. And I kind of like the way that looks on the spine. So anyway, and then sometimes it's kind of cool to, if you feel like your signatures are kind of loose, you can actually pull these together and wrap like a piece of the same binding thread around those strings, and that sort of tightens them up. But yeah, so you can see that the pages, the signatures for these books are smaller. You know, because I cut everything to the same size, except for I did do some smaller for the fairy tale books, some of these, but they wound up like just right at the edge of the covers. So anyway, I'm getting excited to get these going. There's not a whole lot left to do since I'm not doing a ton of embellishing, but I thought I would do my closure. Let me pull out some eyelets. People ask me often where I get eyelets, especially these little guys, and they come from Hobby Lobby, and I believe they are 3/8 inch eyelet. It's a box that there's 600 in a pack, and it's an assortment of like 4 metallic colors and then black and white. And I always just dump them in that little container and then just use them whatever color I grab. I don't usually care what color it is. Anyway, so all I'm going to do basically is just do my little I want to do my little hole for the charm, whatever size, whatever kind of charm I'm going to do. These are the We Are Memory Keepers. Those are I think those are 1/4 inch, or maybe, oh no, I think they're 5/8 inch. Anyway, so I'm just going to, again, eyeball where I want my eyelet. And if you're using a crop-a-dile for these larger eyelets, what you want to use is, let's see, what number is this? They have little letters and numbers on these little cubes that spin around. So this is A, so I'm using A2, okay? So the top is A and the bottom is 2. And that will make the underside of the eyelet totally smooth, so it's not like rough and jaggedy, you know. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna do Hitchposts on these. So I do want to kind of make that relatively centered. So let's see. Oh, this works out nicely. So these are 10 inches tall. So I'm going to do my eyelet at 5 inches. Just making a little pencil mark. Another little pencil mark. And then again, I'm going to eyeball how far in I want this. I'm going to use one of these wide eyelets here. No, I'm not. Never mind. On the back I am. On the back I'm going to use one of those wide eyelets, but on the front I'm going to do one of the Hitchposts. Okay, so punch that one, and then the back. Gotta get that little plug out of there. Always bugs me, that little. Oops. Come on. Okay. Because I like to be able to see through the hole. So I'm trying to make sure it's lined up with my little mark. Okay. I went a little bit further in on the back one than I did on the front because I'm using these wide eyelets. Let's see, this one will actually work perfect. I like that color, kind of a beige color. And it's the same setting, that A2 setting. Okay, so see, it's nice and smooth. And then let's use the big chunky Hitchposts. There's another name. There's a couple. I found these on Amazon by a couple of different names, and I can't remember. Can't remember what they are. Let me erase that little dot, that little pencil mark. Yeah, I've seen them by different descriptive names on Amazon, and I can't remember what they are at the moment, but I love how it looks like a little doorknob, you know. Anyway, so then I'll just decide if I'm going to do like a piece of seam binding or elastic or ball chain. So I'm kind of leaning towards ball chain, but I'm not 100% sure at this point. If I'm going to do ball chain, actually, I might need to move on the next ones. I might move this eyelet a little bit closer to the edge. So anyway, but that's a decision to be made, because what I normally do when I do the ball chain is I'll take a large jump ring. Yeah, I guess that one will work okay. I'll take a large jump ring and attach it there. And then I'll just figure out how long a piece of ball chain I need. And then I'll hook it under that ring. So it'll actually be, well, I'll show you what I mean. I don't string the ball chain through that eyelet. Oh my God, Jessica. Okay. I don't string it through the eyelet because then it winds up like twisting when you put the ball chain through. Come on. I don't know what it is, but everything is just being really awkward for me today. Okay. So see what I mean? So when this one's obviously too long, but it winds up being straight right there. Otherwise, so if I put the ball chain through the eyelet itself, then it winds up like having to twist like that to fasten, and I don't like that. So I always put it on a little jump ring. So anyway, so that's where I'm at, and I'm gonna go through and add some stuff into the pockets, like just little ephemera and stuff like that. I want to use up a bunch of like flashcards and things in these, and then some of my like pre-made tags and whatnot. I've got some other stuff, like I just took all of the offcuts from the scrapbook paper that I used in these. Just took a bunch of offcuts and just sort of cut them into a tag shape, and folded it in half, cut it into a tag shape, and then I'll just put those over some of the pages with a paper clip. I'm just gonna add a bunch of random stuff into these, and then some kind of fun charm, probably with some beads and maybe some dominoes and things like that. So just to make them kind of fun. Maybe some of those puzzle pieces that I got from Terry. Anyway, so I think that's it. I'm gonna work on these for a while tonight, and who knows what could happen. I might even get these done, but I'm gonna put together some bundles, like I said, to go with them. And if I do that, that might not get done until tomorrow. So anyway, but I promised that I would show you my binding, and then this is just how I'm going to finish them up, basically. I don't think I'm going to do, should I do book corners? You guys tell me, yay or nay on book corners. I think I might do book corners. I just like the way they look. Okay, well, you can tell me, you guys can tell me what you think, book corners, yay or nay. But I think I'm going to do them anyway. Just because I think it makes them look finished, sort of refined, if you know what I mean. Anyway, all right, guys. Sorry if I sound a little off or kind of weird today, but I just got up. Honestly, it's late in the day, but I pretty much slept all day because I was watching that show. I started watching it last night, and then I couldn't turn it off. Anyway, so watch that show, you guys, The Wilds, and let me know what you think. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Love you guys. Bye for now.